What's going on, y'all? Taylor here with y'all 106.7, and today we are joined with Mr. Ty Herndon. How we feeling?
My favorite thing. Yee-yaw!
Yeah. How we feeling?
I'm so good, man. I'm just, just life is beyond expectations, you know. I stay out of politics and stay in music.
There we
that makes it
go.
all better.
It's been about a year, I think, since I've seen you last.
About a year, and I walked in the door and I was like, well, something's happened.
Surprise.
Over there, yep. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
First baby, little girl.
First baby, yeah. And you just became an uncle for the 5th time, you were telling me?
Yes, and no, there's more.
There's
that was
more.
just from one niece.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's.
So how many nieces and nephews do you have?
Well, I have one nephew from my biological sister, but my family is so close. So this is actually my first cousin's kids because they also are my siblings. Because growing up, we lived in a trailer park, y'all. And so well, it wasn't really a trailer park. My grandpa had the main house. He never wanted his daughters to move away, So when they got married, he would buy a double wide trailer and put it on the farm, put it on the property. So there was my one aunt, second aunt, third aunt. And, everybody starts having babies. And, all the cousins were really like brothers and sisters, working there on a pig farm.
Yeah.
And my dad was the first one to go, okay, we're moving to Green Acres. We're getting out of this commune right now. So we move over to, just a mile up the road, but, they, still drop us off at Grandpa's every day. But so I've got, 4 really tight first cousins and, one guy and 3 girls that I call, my siblings, really. My sister does as well, my blood sister. But all these babies are my nieces and nephews. And now, to be honest with you, Randy Nicole is her name. She's like my niece, but she's the one having the baby. So I'm really like, quite honestly, more like Papaw.
Yeah. So you're a pro.
All that, I know y'all get it. So, it's called family. Yeah. It's just growing and growing.
Takes
Uncle Ty, is the fun uncle who spoils them, takes them to Dollywood and does all the good things. Christmas is fun. We got 2 dogs at home. It's a practice. We got a puppy, and we're practicing for the baby thing. But
I'm gonna call you to babysit. Then you're a pro.
I'm great. I can do a diaper any day. I've done a bunch of them. Clearly, growing up. But what I can't do is I've got this Labradoodle right now who will not get crate trained, and you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, "What is that smell?" And you realize it's not you, and you go, "Oh man!" So the baby you can. Trash. This is different.
So you're in the trenches right now, the Labrador trenches. That's great.
Right. So, but we're doing good. He's doing really good. That was a big answer for a small question. Thank you so much.
Hey, we're all like family here. Well, we're excited to see you play Monday night at the Wilson County Fair, August 18th.
How many has been going to the Wilson County Fair? Forever, because you kind of take the place of the Tennessee State Fair. Really did. You going out there forever, and I always run into all my artist friends out there on a Friday and Saturday night. And I got to thinking one day, I've never played this fair. So I told my agency, I said, I'll reduce my rate. I don't care. Let's go, let's play the Wilson County Fair. And that's not fair to them. They did give me my rate. But we're going to have a blast. Jamie O'Neill and I, which we tour together often because we're silly together and we have a lot of fun. But she's a great singer. As much as I give her a hard time, Bridget Jones, all by my, she goes into that song, Oh, is that the right one? Yeah, all by myself. That's it, right? I still make fun of her for that, and because she never wears, she doesn't wear high heels anymore. I'm like, girl, you're a country star. Put on some high heels. Put on some clunkers.
We just saw her in here recently.
Rhinestone them. So now she rhinestones her slippers. So yes, Jamie O'Neill, you see this? She's gonna kill me.
Hey, that is my vibe. Rhinestone slippers. Yeah. What was it? Dina Carter used to perform barefoot. Hey, we love it. We just saw Jamie in here recently. She brought her pup Louie with her.
Yeah, Louie.
So cute. But the Wilson County Fair has grown so much. We were there last year. It's huge.
It's a huge fair.
What is your fair food that you're going to go get? What is like the snack that you have to have at the fair? Because their corn on the cob is really good.
One of my favorite things about the Ohio State Fair is they have pork chop on a stick, and I do the low carb thing, so I'm hoping I can find a pork chop on a stick. But if not, I'm going for the fried Oreo.
I was going to say, low carb at a fair, Ty? Come on. I mean, we got to have a funnel cake.
Got all this stuff coming up. We got a couple television shows and some stuff we can't even talk about right now, but we will talk about. New album. There's some big announcements coming. It's more than I ever thought possible and more than I think I deserve. But, at the end of the day, it's good to be in the river of creativity and just to be happy. And, I hope that I'm spreading that message. We do it in our music. We're touring more than ever. Thank the Lord for the resurgence of 90s country. A lot of us tour together. We're always working. I saw John Michael Montgomery the other night, then I worked with his son the next night, and you see Jody Messina, and Tracy Lawrence the other night, we have a lot of reunions kind of backstage, share war stories, say, and often go, can you believe we're still here? We survived some of this craziness, and most of all of them go, especially you, Herndon.
Oh, what a crew. Yeah, I can only imagine the stories between all y'all.
That's awesome.
That's so great. Well, let's talk about that new album,
yes.
30, because it's going to be released in 2 parts.
Yes. And that's crazy. And I looked at my team cross-eyed. I'm like, okay, that's a lot. But the idea was to take 7 of the hits and reimagine them with people that I love, current country stars and past friends. So our first one was, with LeAnn Rimes. We reimagined What Mattered Most, and just was widely received. And I called her up because I met LeAnn, really I've known her since she was 7.
Wow.
We would play in the honky tonks in Texas. She was too young to get in, so we would run a microphone to the exit door, and Wilbur would bring her to the exit door, and she'd sing a couple songs just standing in the exit door, and people would go crazy, and she's magical. We became friends. What Mattered Most came out. LeAnn Rimes had Blue out, and we're out on tour together, and it was just like a 2-week run, and about in the middle of it. LeAnn comes to me, she goes, Mr. Ty, she goes, we're going to have to switch. I said, what do you mean? She goes, well, you're going to have to be the opener now. And I said, honey, I know that I'm not putting 15,000 butts in seats right now. I says, I'm quite okay with that. And so she was so cute. So we actually switched in the middle of the tour, and she would come out and sing What Mattered Most with me, and the crowd would go crazy. So this is the version that you hear. When we wanted to reimagine it, I'm like, okay, who else am I going to go to but Little Girl? And Little Girl's a beautiful grown woman now. And I sang my part first and sent it all up to Los Angeles. And she called me afterwards. She goes, Herndon, she goes, that was a workout. I said, well, I did my job then. So the result was amazing. And then I called my relatively new friend, Ashley McBryde. And she's one of my favorites. There's no more. She's so soulful and real.
She's great.
And with Man Holding On, I was like, okay, this is a very, very important and pivotal song in my life and career. And and she was the first person that came to mind, and she immediately said yes. And she said, growing up, she goes, this was the song I imagined she goes, one of my favorite songs, and I would sing it in the mirror. I'm like, so I can see you sing it with your hairbrush in the mirror, Man Holding On. So it was the perfect choice. And I've seen a lot of that, and calling up Michael Ray for Hands of a Working Man, which is coming down the pike. And he goes, Ty, it was my dad's hands down favorite song. I recorded it for my dad. And so he came in and killed it, and I can't really say her name right now, but she's a big Broadway actress. And, Galinda came in, and I didn't say her name, did I? No, I didn't. And absolutely slayed on Heart Half Empty. And there's so many surprises.
Oh, wow. A lot more to come.
Also, I won't say her name either, but she's on the cover of People today. So you guys, you figure it out yourself.
Google's it.
I'm about to go have lunch with her, and I'm going to give her a hard time because I'm like, that's a damn good picture. You didn't give us that good a picture for our single. But what's coming next is, I don't keep secrets. The amazing Miss Chrissy Metz.
Oh, great.
Yes, and she absolutely killed it on Man Holding On. I'm sorry. She Wants to Be Wanted Again. And how that just that's one of my recovery songs. It's kind of like we all want to feel wanted, and the criticism I got for that song in the beginning, it was a top 5 hit, but it was like, you're a man singing about how a woman feels. I was like, no, I'm a man singing about how a human being feels when they feel like they're not needed. There's no sex in this. It's just about a feeling. So Christy came in and just said, we kind of talked about our what we thought was our shortcomings in life and how they became our best friends, how they became the best thing about us. Yeah. And she came in, and I was so emotional with her on this. She really, really poured her heart and soul into it. So that was another hit. But then the the other cool thing that we're doing is, in the 90s, we would always put out, at least 3 singles off of an album. If we went 4 deep, that was a big deal. But we always had that 4th one picked. And so I went back to every album and I said, okay, what was the 4th song picked that didn't make it to country radio? And we call those the missed hits. So the other 7, there's 18 songs on this. It's now 16, excuse me. So the other 8 are all the ones that didn't make the jump.
Yeah.
Yes, and they're
sometimes
brilliant
those are the
songs.
best ones.
They are, man. And I got some amazing guest stars coming in on that. But I got married. This we got anniversary coming up, and he actually came in and sang.
Well, happy anniversary!
He's not a singer at all.
Yeah, well, that's special doing that together.
That's what I said. I was like, you don't got to be great here. This is just about.
Just give it an honest effort.
It's about a moment in this, and so just got that mixed bag. But anyhow, it's full of moments. It's full of moments and humanity. And if I was going to do this, if you know anything about me, the one thing that has been the healthiest and the best part about me has been the gift. It's been the music and the ability to sing. And like something my grandma told me a long time ago, the ability to take the gift, put it in your heart, and let it come out your mouth. And she goes, and learn to listen. Because those people that are listening to you need to hear what you have to say. So make sure that when you put it on that microphone, you know that you're singing it for so many hearts out there. And man, and that little piece of advice played so true through all of this, because I'm sitting in the producer seat with a couple of great guys. And I don't know. I mean, if you listen to this record, and I'll close now because I've also got my grandmother's gift of gab. If you listen to this record, you hear me, and I started going down through the years and hearing different phases of my voice. And I think what I finally hear is a grown up. Yeah. I think I hear a grown up really, singing in the truth with a lot of truthful friends around me. So it's been an incredible project, and whoo, Lord mercy.
That's what I was going to ask you. What was kind of the differences of recording it back then versus now? And it's just you feel like you sound older, wiser.
I think really for me, I always trusted my producers, and taking these songs that I believed in at the time, but in my mind wanted to have a different presentation of it. And I trusted the great Paul Worley. I trusted Doug Johnson. I trusted all these guys, and they gave me hit records. So it was a little intimidating going back and even touching these things. But here's been the greatest gift, the songwriters, because they're the ones you don't want to mess with, really. And Man Holding On to a Woman Letting Go, they about blew my phone up. It's like he said, it's rare. We often like cuts, it's not what we thought. But with this particular song with Ashley, he went far past. He goes, we got together and just this is what he said. We hugged and cried. I said, okay, well then, job well done. So then the big scary part came with Gary Burr and Vince Malamé with LeAnn and What Mattered Most, and because that'd be the 3rd time I've reimagined that song, and the second one was a little bit of a challenge, and then the 3rd time he's like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "This is like 2 great bottles of the finest wine in America, and they've finally been opened, and they do not disappoint." I
it's
said,
such
"Can
a
I
great
please
song.
use that? That's amazing."
Yes.
So
it's such a great song, and y'all sound incredible together.
Thank you. You can tell we're 2 old friends.
Yeah.
You can tell. When I got all her vocals back, because there were several variations. That was another cool thing. I don't go in and produce these guys. I send the track, my part's done. I send it to them and their producer and say, free reign. Yeah. Do what you feel. You don't have to stick with melodies. You don't have to do anything. Just do what you feel on this. And really, everybody that's done it so far have been like, really? Yeah. I'm like, really? Yes. I said, I've done my part. I've got to come back and sing harmony to what you do, so don't be too hard on me. But even right down to another surprise guest on here, the fabulous Brooke Eden. She came in with a song,
great, yeah.
A song called "I'd Move Heaven and Earth," that I would have put my life on. Would have been a 20-week #1, but she put her twist on it, and I literally sat down on the floor of the studio and wept. I was like, wow, because you give these, I call them kids because they are kids, the opportunity just to be themselves without, you don't, without, here, do it this way or do it that way. Sing the dadgum song.
Yeah.
Sing it the way you feel it, and then bring it back to me.
And you get the best outcome that way.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so there's just been, you're going to hear her like you've never heard her. And I feel like I had a little part of that, so.
Well, we're excited. When do we get to
me? I've just let go like 4 people that are on this record that I can't keep a secret.
We've got the tea. We got the inside scoop here.
I cannot keep a secret.
When can we expect the rest of this album?
October. And we have a huge announcement coming in People Magazine on September 14th. I believe it's the 18th, right around there. Really huge announcement.
I mean, while we're rattling things off, you might as well tell us.
I can't do that one. If I do that one, I might get sued. So, I have had the hand of God put down on that one. But really huge announcement. Everybody's going to be really excited about it. It's super cool. Yeah. And, let's just put it this way. There's a reason I'm no carbon right now. And no, I'm not going on naked and afraid.
Sexiest man alive right here. Here we go.
No, and I go on naked and afraid. Number one, I wouldn't be afraid, and I'm not going naked.
Well, the anticipation is high. We cannot wait to see what it is. So you're very busy. You got a big announcement coming up. We don't know what it is. Got an album coming out.
Not as big as your announcement, but maybe one day. One day.
So when Ty's not working, what does he like to do?
Oh wow! Well, I got my work glove on, but this does represent something to do with mental health and sobriety. So this is in support of another friend. It just represents God. God. It's in God's hands, not yours. But we're out putting siding on the side of the deck today because we needed more storage, so we're doing that this afternoon. I enjoy, we just do a lot of construction stuff. Yeah. It sounds weird, but my dad built cabinets growing up, so I've got a half-finished doghouse out there that I need to get finished, because this rascal is not sleeping in the bed, so got to get him a doghouse. Just I'm a piddler.
You like to stay busy.
Yeah, I like Southern Salvage here in Nashville. I spent 4 hours there yesterday.
You can find some good stuff there.
You can, yeah. Got some. My older dog now is having a hard time walking on the hardwoods, and so I just went and got a bunch of pretty cool runners and rugs. The house looks terrible because they're all over the place because he don't want him to fall. But I don't know, man. What do I enjoy? Cooking. I almost cook every meal. Just pretty healthy.
What's your go-to?
Really,
I love pasta, but you're no carbs, so.
Alex is the pasta guy, but I'm like, I just made an incredible beef stew last night, and Sunday I made chicken and dumplings for the whole family. Everybody comes running when those things happen, and we have a deep freeze. We just keep, that's so Southern. Got a deep freeze down in the basement.
We're coming over to your house for dinner.
Man, well, my cousins all, they raise cows, and we always ride down there about twice a year and just fill up the deep freeze. And so I think we're probably I'm as close to living at home in Alabama as I'm gonna get in Tennessee, and it's a pretty good life. I was talking to my buddy Andy Griggs. He just became a dad.
Love Andy.
And he is he's a completely different creature. And I said, dude, when's the last time you actually finished a beer? He goes, 9 months ago. I love him. So awesome.
That's great. So what is the best way to keep up with you? Social media? Or do you Ty Herndon official?
I don't do any of the social media. So my manager called the other day, said, you got the date wrong when you got married on your. I said, I have not touched it. I guess so. All right. So there's somebody else, messing around on it. I don't know. I get a kick out of artists when they go in there. I go, stop hacking my page. Just leave me alone. Like, what have I done to you? Stop hacking my page. So, tyherndon.com, you can get all the schedule, and then Instagram, and everybody knows all the social things out there. I just only reason that I'm even on. What's the little yellow guy?
Snapchat?
Yeah, the only reason I'm on there is all my nieces and nephews.
Oh, they like the filters
I just
and all
want
that
to keep
stuff.
up with the family.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, but I know because I tried one of those, and actually when I did like a funny face and sent it out to the multitude instead of just the family. So I'm like, okay, we're not going to leave that alone.
Gotta watch that. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming by and hanging out with us today. We're excited for the rest of this. Thank you.
Pregnancy looks good on you. Motherhood's going to be.
Thank
oh my gosh, you're going to be perfect.
Thank
Just
you
perfect
so much.
at it. And I love you. Thank you for having me.
Of course, we love you, and we're looking forward to seeing you Monday night.
All right, let's do it.